Next speaker is Mahtab Niknahad, and he works for Center for Sensing Solution of URAC and will present a web application to analyze and visualize multi-hazard events. So thank you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm here to present the EO4 Multihazard project. This project is a European Space Agency funded project aiming to explore the Earth observation technology potential to advance the scientific understanding of high-impact multi-hazard events to better identify, characterize, and assess their associated risk, vulnerability, and impacts on social and ecosystems. This project will finish in September 2025. The aim of the development of the web application is to create a multi-hazard event database and provide access to it through a web portal and API. Our initial challenge in this project is the spread of data across different repositories and the harmonization of these datasets. Here is the project roadmap. We have four important phases. The first important phase is the input data and all the concerns for this part. The second phase is the database technologies and how to integrate the geometries. The third one is the development and also the packages. And the last important phase is the web application and all the features in this web application. Three main input data were selected for this project. The first one is the International Disaster Database, which is known as EMDAT. It contains all hazard types. The second one is the European Forest Fire Information System Database, and it contains only forest fire. The third one is the British Geological Survey, which is the BGS. And our methods in order to get this data were data harvesting, data fair principles, and API web services. We accepted the CI/CD pipeline for the maintenance of all input data. This CI/CD pipeline were scheduled at a precise time. We downloaded, harmonized, and uploaded the database, the new data set in the database in the separate jobs for each data sources. Here is the CI/CD pipeline. We start from the data retrieval from the EMDAT and FIS data sources. Then we will download each of these data sources to their own tables. As the third step, we will harmonize all of these data sources in the database. And finally, the EO4 multi-hazard database will include all the data sources, and the final indices will be accumulated based on the number of the record in the database. The database. Inside the database, we accepted the PostgreSQL as the technology, and we used the PostGIS plugin in order to store the geometry details. Our main table is the events table, which contains the important information about the events, which are like event type, start date, end date, and also the geometry. The development. Here is the development overview. The final user will access the EO4 multi-hazard web application. The web application will access the EO4 multi-hazard database, and with all the three mentioned data sets, we always fill this EO4 multi-hazard database. The development technologies. The application development uses the Django framework. The standard containerization of the application is inside the Docker. The geometry of the events. In order to show the geometry of the event, we use the folio map inside the web application. There are two important libraries that we use inside this web application, and there are PyCountry and also Shapely in order to manage the event detail and also the event geometry. Here are the development packages. We use Docker with all the details for the packages and also the libraries in the Python. And also we use the Nginx server in order to manage the HTTP request and also the proxy settings. And finally, the last phase, which is the most important phase, beside our input data, which is the web application and all of its functionalities. Web application part. Functionalities are to support researchers and first responders to identify relation between the events. There is the possibility actually to see the event overview. In this feature, we manage and we show the number of the events in each data type, in each region, and also in each event type. The separation borders use the admin zero level, which is implemented by the Food and Agriculture Organization. There is the possibility to filter the events based on the polygon on the map. And the last feature in this page is that this is possible to filter the events based on the country, event type, and also a start and end date, with also the possibility to visualize the events on the map. As the second page, there is the possibility to download the result of the related events list. It is also possible to query in order to display the related events based on the main events. There is also possible to filter the related events based on time and radius. There is also a map in order to overview the selected event and also related events. There is also this is possible to view the related publications which are related to this event. For the dataset page, it is possible to view and visit the list of all the available datasets. And as I mentioned, up to now, we use the MDAT data source, we use the FIS data source, and also BGS UK data source. There is also the possibility to see the list of available data providers. As the future work, we will be working on the improvement of the web application, which consider the improvement of the dataset page of the web application, web app usability, and fill the table of useful datasets. For the next step, we will be working on the creation task, which are like creating new pipelines to update datasets, geostories to describe case studies, testing, and also bug fixing. And finally, we will be working on the finalization of the URL and host of the web application. Thank you so much for your time. Please let me know if there is any other questions.
So, thank you for the presentation. Is there any question from the publicum? If not, I'm curious to know if you plan in future also to add some forecast feature, maybe based on the past event and correlation with other data to forecast for possible future hazard happening and do a proactive planning.
Yes, it will be included in the web application, but in the next phases for the deliveries. Yes.
Thank you.